Gunfreak Nation. It's the press, TElectrik, and man, it ain't getting better. It's getting worse. We got these savages out here just, wanting crazy, man. They wanting wild. You hear me? It was a young woman literally dragged from the bus stop. That area I used to stay like a block down from that bus stop. And this savage just grabbed her, took her to an abandoned apartment complex and sexually assaulted her, man. It's just, listen, all the women, the females, please, if you are by yourself and you relying on public transportation, please do not be on your phone. Don't let nobody see you on your phone. If somebody call you, tell them you will call them back when you're in a safe place. It's horrible. Police, she told the police she was on her phone. And somebody, a savage, a man just walked up to her and just punched her, in her face to stun her, and then just grabbed her and threw his hand over her mouth and dragged her into the vacant apartment complex, man. It's horrible, man. It's a lot of horrible things been happening in my city. I don't know about y'all city, but I'm pretty sure crazy stuff is happening there too. A woman, a mother and her 5 children were homeless, and they were basically sleeping, living out of her van. And she, took it to a parking structure, to a casino, and they was trying to stay warm. Car ran out of gas or had mechanical problems, and 2 of the children, man, passed away. They froze to death, man, from hypothermia, man. That broke my heart, man. It broke my heart. Some things in life, man, I do everything I can to try to not be, depressed. But look, seeing that on the news, it's horrible, man. And then I'm getting reports from, Gunfreak Nation members, of home invasions here, home invasions there. One, Gunfreak Nation member told me it was a home invasion on a house, and they made the owner strip naked, and they unalived his son. Listen, I love y'all, okay? I know I'm sounding like a broken, record now, but listen, y'all got to be aware. Y'all got to have situational awareness, okay? Even in your home. If you can afford it, get cameras. If you can afford it, get some type of alarm system. If you can afford it, get your windows, and your doors secured, if you're out and about outside, doing everyday regular stuff that you do when you leave out your house, you got to have situational awareness. You have to. You got to. I call it being savage ready, right? You got to have situational awareness, man. You got to know instead of this being in your face, and it's hard to do because this has become a distraction for so many of us. I'm guilty of it myself, and I have to catch myself. Okay? It's hard to put that down, but you got to, because if you don't put it down, a savage will put you down. This ain't nothing but the devil. This is Satan at his best. All these savages out here, they doing the work of Satan. Okay, they're doing the devil's job. They're doing the devil's work. And their whole goal is to inflict as much death and pain on the righteous people as much as they can. It's a spiritual, see, what y'all don't know or may not know is it's a spiritual war that's being fought right now. Okay? It's a spiritual war that's happening. Have you ever been around a person and you can feel their energy and it's off and it just ain't right? And, you know, if you happen to conversate with them, it's all negativity. They either talking about somebody else or, you know, they full of drama. Stay away from that type of person, man. That person means you no good. They not for you. Back away, get away from them, because next thing you know, you're going to have all that toxicity in your life. You're going to have all, they're going to bring all that to your front door. And I don't want to, me personally, I don't want no parts of it. I don't want to be around it. We living in some out cold, crazy, anything go days right now. People will do anything for that money, for that coin. People will do anything for that high, you know. And they coming in, like, as far as home invasions, I told y'all, it ain't about your valuables no more. You are the prize. You are the value. They're coming in for you. And for you women, and I'm talking about, they attacking, sexually assaulting the man now. You know, on my journey, starting this channel, I get a lot of emails from people, you know, telling me they're very thankful, that they appreciate me, and I appreciate y'all too. I get a lot of emails from people saying, because of UT, you know, I made it up in my mind to go purchase my first firearm, and I promise you, I'm gonna train with it and be responsible with it. You know, like I say, it ain't the gun. The gun is just merely the tool. You know, the true weapon is your mind, your mindset. You gotta have the mindset to not let no devil get the jump on you, no savage get the drop on you. That's what I call them, savages, man. Who else want to break up in your house and, you know, and violate you sexually and you know, I didn't want to talk about this, but someone, we're gonna call him Mark. He reached out to me and he wanted me to do to talk about this, you know, a home invasion, you know, happened to him. And I didn't want to do it because, you know, it was so violent and he was in detail about what happened. He was like, T, this need to be told, it need to be said, and you got the platform to you know, to spread the message, you know. But he said when it happened to him, you know, he had rife. Thank God, you know, there were no children involved. I don't think they had kids. He didn't mention anything about, you know, children. It was just him and his wife. And he had a gun. But he had the gun put up, you know. And he said that it happened so fast that he didn't even have time to make it to his gun. His wife did not know how to use the gun because she didn't really care for guns. It was his gun. He didn't have time to make it to the gun. And he said they was on him. Just like that. And he said it was one of the most horrible horrifying, terrifying experiences he ever had in his life. Imagine somebody got a gun, got you at gunpoint, and you don't know whether you're going to live or die. He said he felt so helpless. And when he said they grabbed his wife, after they roughed him up, pistol whipped him, threw him down on the floor, they pinned his wife up against the wall and began to rip her clothes off. And all he can do was just beg them and be like, please don't hurt her. Please, please don't hurt her. Don't touch her. Don't hurt her. And all they did was kick him while he was laying on the floor and started stomping him. And he said the hardest thing he had to say was please. But she didn't know how to utilize that weapon. So number one, if you know, for all you men out there, if you got a girlfriend or a wife, please, man, you know, have her take part in training. Now, I get it. If they don't like guns, it's hard to convince somebody that's afraid of a gun to get familiarized with a gun and to train with it. It's hard to do that. My bad, y'all. Let me turn my ringer off. See, that's somebody from Gunfreaknation now messaging me, man. My phone, I get messages basically every day from people telling me what's going on in their neck of the woods, either, you know, links to stories, you know, news stories or something that's going to happen in their life, you know. And that was a unfortunate event, man. And like I say, they didn't have cameras. I say get you the Ring camera, or get you some type of camera that got motion detectors. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody, you may not be looking at your phone every time. I know in my case, every time when the ring go off, when somebody get close to my property, it's gonna go off. It's gonna sound a notification, just like what you just heard. You know, and I have a something called a chime that everybody in the house is gonna hear. You need a setup like that or similar, you know. You got to make sure that your doors are reinforced and bolted. You know, make it hard for them. You know, put yourself in a situation where you can get to your gun in time. But nobody should have to go through that in a perfect world. But we're not living in a perfect world. It's all kind of, you know, it's like I say, it's a spiritual warfare that's being fought right now. A lot of people may not know that, but it's happening every day. Every day, every 15 seconds, a woman is being victimized. Every 15 seconds, some type of burglary or home invasion is happening right now. And it's going to continue to happen until we, as a people, as a righteous people, decide to fight back. And the only way you're going to be able to fight back, you got to arm up. If they got an AK-47, then guess what? You should have one too. If they got an AR-15, then you should have one too. And if you don't have one or can't afford it right now, get you a handgun. Get you the, you know, get that Taurus G2 or G3. It's $250. It's under $300. Put it in layaway. This is your life we're talking about. You only get one shot at this. Because once you're gone off this earth, you ain't coming back. Ain't no coming back. Ain't no second chance. This ain't the video games. This is not Call of Duty, people. You got savages walking around amongst us right now. No, everybody don't heard about that famous home invasion that happened in Dearborn Heights. That's right around the corner from me. Thank God that the homeowner had a gun. He may not been, trained or whatever. His tactics, but at least he had a gun, and he got that savage off of him. His girlfriend was already in bed, so can you imagine what would have happened to her if he wouldn't have had that gun? Defend them savages off? It's so much hate in the world right now, man. And them devils, those demonic demons, those savages, they're coming for us. And we need to be prepared. We got to be prepared, man. You don't want to be on the other side of that savage's gun aimed at you or aimed at any of your loved ones. You don't want to be in that situation. You don't want to be. You don't want to, and a lot of people, it would never happen. And, that's just somebody that set them up. That's somebody that they knew and they were set up. Nah, not all the time. It can be random. Trust me. It can be random. All you got to do is Google Shannon Christian and Chris Newsom. They didn't know those savages. Their biggest mistake was not being having situational awareness. They weren't paying attention to those savages walking up the street. And they carjacked them. And they took them back to a dope house, a crack house. And they was tortured, man. One day I'll go in detail, but I don't think I can, the stuff that was dead to them was so horrible, man. I don't know if I can make it through it, in telling it. It needs to be told. Their story needs to be told. But yeah, it's dirty, low down, rotten, evil, devilish savages out there that get off on that. In the days of them coming in and tying you up and, taking your valuables, those days don't exist anymore. They coming in already hopped up on drugs, that in those same drugs that they taking got them sexually stimulated, sexually excited, and to the point of whether they don't care whether you are a woman or a man. It don't matter nowadays. They get the thrill out of terrorizing you and inflicting torture and pain on you. That's what they get off on. All of the other stuff that come after is the afterthought. So please, I'm telling you, you got to get armed. That's the only way. Ain't no mace, ain't no bat. No ain't no taser, no knife, no billy club, no brass knuckles. None of that is going to be sufficient enough. The only way you're going to be able to fight back if you get armed and you be armed and you ready and you savage ready. That's the only fighting chance you're going to have. But until the next one, Gunfreak Nation, listen, I love y'all. Stay armed. Stay responsible with your firearms. Stay righteous. And send that dirty, low down, demonic, devil savage to Funky Town. Gunfreak Nation, I love you. Salute.